Hi friends, it's Carrie from Stretch Chi, and today we're going to do a self-assessment for flexibility. I'm really excited about this because I think you're going to find it very eye-opening. Now, a lot of people think that flexibility needs to be an off or on, like I'm flexible or I'm not, and it's not really like that. I've broken down actually 10 levels of messages that you could be getting from your body while you do a resistance stretch. And it's going to teach you so much about what's going on in your body, why you're blocked, how you're blocked, and how we can get rid of those blockages, okay? So get your forms. You should have them printed out already. If you don't, look within this lesson. There should be a lesson that's like the self-assessment and progress journal. Click that, download that PDF. You'll have it. It's kind of like a sheet like this, right? So go ahead and download those files. Now, it's important that as we're doing these stretches that you really listen to what your body's telling you. Don't force anything. If anything hurts, just stop. Today, we're not looking to gain more flexibility. We're looking to gain information, right? So don't worry about like trying to get through stretches if they don't feel good. If your body says, I don't want to do that move, just mark it down as a 10. And just say, I'm gonna watch. It's totally fine. It's fine, right? If the stretch feels great and you wanna do a bunch of them, that's fine too, okay? But if you're getting any of the other cues, make sure that you stop, write down your score, and then we'll move on to the next stretch, all right? So we're gonna start off with our right leg assessment. So make sure that you have the page here that says right leg assessment. My printer's out of color, so mine looks a little different than yours, I'm sure. We're gonna start off with our glute stretch, okay? So to do this stretch, lay on your back, bring your right leg on top of your left leg so that your right ankle rests on top of your right knee, and then thread your fingers through, your hands through, so that you can grab your left leg behind you, okay? And now from here, what you're gonna do is push with your right leg, like you're trying to kick your legs away from you, and then grab with your arms, okay? And then pull in for your stretch. So you're gonna go out for strength and in for stretch. You just kind of wanna resist and move the whole time. So there's a little bit of resistance between your foot and your arms, and you just move back and forth. And now take stock of what you feel. So a level 10 would be like, I'm not even doing it, right? And then you just move your way down. So take stock of what you feel. How is that for you? A couple times if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, just stop right away. And then take note. Now, let's think about this. So you should feel that stretch in your right glute, right through here. Okay, your glutes, it's your butt muscles, right? Right through the outside of your hips, your glutes. You should feel it like a good stretch, okay? Now, when I do that today, I feel a little bit of dull pain, so I'm gonna write that down. Bodies change all the time, right? So write down what feels right to you. Do you have a sharp pain? Do you just feel really unsafe? Like, what is it? Find the level on the sheet, okay? All right. Now we're gonna go to our left leg. So go ahead and grab your left leg assessment. It should be the next one here. Here. I also ran out of paper, so it's music on the back. This is welcome to my world, my friends. And now we're gonna do our left leg. So go ahead and lay on your back. Your left leg on top of your right leg, reach through and grab your right leg with both hands. And then again, add resistance. So you're gonna push your left leg into your right leg. You're gonna try to push it away. Your arms are gonna catch you, okay? So push out and then pull in and notice what you feel. So what you should be feeling here is an awesome stretch through your glute on the left, okay? If you don't feel that, then pay attention to what the quality of that stretch is. What's happening? Do you feel sharp pain? Do you feel dull pain? Do you feel nothing? Do you feel confused or frustrated? Does it feel unsafe? Does it feel unsteady? Does it cramp? Do you feel anything anywhere else? Like, do you feel your inner thighs, right? What do you feel? And then let's have a look. So go ahead to your sheet again. This one is left leg glutes, okay? So I'm gonna say that one's more of a 4 for me. I did a bunch of problem solving yesterday, and that was the one thing that was still screaming at me. So I'm always looking at like, what is my body telling me? What are the signals it's telling me? So the next stretch we're going to move on to is for your inner thighs. These are your adductors. So you lay on your back and bring your feet up into the air. Grab your knees on the inside with your hands. Squeeze in for strength. And while you resist, just like that, you're going to use your arms to open you up. So you find that resistance. It's not a lot of resistance, doesn't have to be much. And then you just squeeze right back in. And so you're opening for your stretch. Notice what you feel. And then squeeze in. You should feel this on your inner thighs. If you feel anything else, take note, right? Pay attention, listen close. Do you feel any pain in your hips? Is it hard for you to straighten your legs out all the way? Does it feel scary? Does it feel difficult? Does it feel awesome? What do you got? Do you feel nothing? This is important. Now notice that I feel nothing is a level 2. It doesn't mean that that there are times when you won't feel anything. This isn't like sometimes you won't feel any of this stuff. But if you don't feel anything in a stretch, it means that muscle is not really activated in the best way possible. So you can actually become better at everything you do if you can get yourself to be able to actually feel a stretch as you're doing a resistance stretch, okay? It's pretty cool. So feeling nothing is not the goal. Feeling a great stretch is the goal, okay? So what do you feel there? I feel, I'm gonna say a 1 on that one. I'm a little tight from my workout yesterday. So a little bit of, I can't quite go far, right? So that's good. Okay, now let's go next to our hip flexors. We're gonna start off with our right leg. Now again, that was both legs, so you just put it on both sides, right? Now, right leg behind, left leg in the front, and you're gonna scissor front to back and back to front, okay? So use your left leg to pull you into this stretch. Your right leg is resisting just a little bit. And you just pull back and forth just like this. Now, the sensation that you should be feeling in this stretch is in the front of your hip. Just right here, nothing else, not down here, not on the sides, nothing else, just in the front here. So notice what you feel. You don't have to resist very hard here either. It can be pretty easy, but there shouldn't be any pain, no sharp pain, no dull pain even. It should just feel like a good stretch through the front of your hips. This one's totally a 0 for me. I'm super happy with my hip flexor today. Good job, right hip flexor. And where is yours at? See if you can find it, okay? And go ahead and mark it down. And then we'll move on to our left side. So to get into this stretch, have your left leg behind and your right leg in the front. And you're gonna resist by trying to pull your right leg towards you and your left leg forward. So it's like this scissoring motion. Use your right leg to pull you into a stretch, and your left leg pulls you back. So you find that resistance the entire time. Resisting just a little bit of tension. It almost feels like the kind of tension you would have if you were like running through water. You know that feeling? That's kind of what we're going for. It's kind of this light resistance, but still resistance. And we're using these stretches to get information. So if anything hurts, you just stop, okay? I feel it here. That's where you should get it, right in the front of your hip, okay? So take a second to take stock. Do you feel that in the front of your hip there on the left side? Do you feel anything different? If you do, take note, okay? So now let's look at our sheet. I, again, really like that stretch, so I'm gonna give that a 0. But if you had any issues, like say you cramped up in your feet, that would be a number 5, okay? If you had a sharp pain, that would be a number 7. If you felt really like you couldn't grasp the resistance, like it felt really unnatural to you, or you just are really frustrated through it, or you're like really fighting through it, then that would be a level 9. Okay, even if the stretch seems productive and feels great, If you're struggling with it, your body's trying to get you out of it. Okay, so put it on a level 9. All right, then let's move on to our central hamstring. Now this one, you'll lay on your back. We'll start off with our right leg. So bring your right knee into your chest and grab the ball of your foot with both hands, okay? And then kick down for strength. So you're kicking your heel down to your glutes. Use your arms to pull you up. And you just go back and forth just like this, down for strength and up for stretch. A little bit of resistance so that you get that good resistance stretch, right? So you're kind of fighting. My arms are winning, but my legs giving me resistance. Hi, sorry. Suri is the star of all of my classes, just so you know. She's a good one, aren't you? Yeah. And so what do you feel? It should be right here in the back of your leg, right here. Okay, a good belly of the muscle kind of stretch. If you feel it in your hips, that's somewhere else. If you feel pain, obviously it's pain, right? If you feel nothing at all, mark it down as a 3, okay? So central hamstring, mine felt awesome. I'm gonna give that a 0. Where are you at, okay? At the end of this, I would love it if you guys would put in the comments, there's like a description place or a place where you can discuss. It's a discussion box. There should be a little click in the corner somewhere. See if you can find that. And in the discussion box, go ahead and put what your score is, okay? When we get to the end, just be ready for it. All right, then let's do your left side central hamstring. So go ahead and lay on your back again. Bring your left leg up. Grab the ball of your foot with both hands and resist by kicking down. Use your arms to win to pull you up. Down for strength and up for stretch. And again, you should feel this right down the back of your leg right here. So take note of what you feel. Listen to what your body's telling you. And just keep going. If you need more information, if it doesn't feel good, you just go ahead and stop, okay? And if the stretch feels awesome, if you're at a 0, you could do as many as you want, right? Maybe like 10, that's probably enough. All right, so go ahead and mark down what your score is for that one as well. And then next, we're gonna move on to our quad stretch. Now for the quad stretch, you're gonna want some cushion under your knee. So go ahead and grab like a hand towel is really great. You just double the towel up, some sort of cushion, your mat, you could slide against the wall. But I find that mats, even thick ones, aren't really enough for your knee support. So make sure that you have something really nice and soft and cushy for your knees, okay? I'm gonna use this mat right here and put it real close to the wall. Now to get into the stretch, here's how you do it. You put your hands down, take your knee and place it close to the wall, maybe like an inch or 2 away, and your foot flat against the wall. Then your other leg comes up into a lunge, all right? So you're in this lunge position. Now, if you're looking at me and you're like, there's no way I'm doing that, Carrie, then just go ahead and mark it down as a 0. That's totally fine, okay? You're gonna push out for strength and in for your stretch as you're pushing back towards the wall for your stretch and out for strength. And pay attention to what you feel. This should feel real good, okay? If it doesn't feel good, then listen to what your body's telling you and figure it out from there. You should feel a nice quad stretch right through here, right through the front of your thigh, the one closest to the wall. If you feel cramping, that's really common in this one, then mark it down as a 5 and just get out of it, okay? If you have any pain or it hurts in any way, write it down, all right? Put it down on your chart. Hey, Bubby. Whoa, a tunnel. All right, and then bring your hands down and we'll try out our left leg. But before you do, mark down how your quads felt. So look at your self-assessment guide and then go from there. All right, now let's switch to the other side. So take your left leg and drop it against the wall so that your foot is flat on the wall and your knees on the mat. And then we're just gonna bring that other leg around to the front. So your right leg's in the front so you can come up into a lunge. Now, if you feel wobbly at all, that would mean that the stretch feels not safe, right? So you're like, I'm good, but I don't really feel safe doing it. And that would be a level 8, you see? So you just kind of listen to what your body's telling you. Now, to add resistance, push your foot into the wall. That's going to propel you forward. Then use your front leg to push you back. And how does that one feel? Just go back and forth. Listen to your body, pay attention. What's it telling you? My body is saying, hey, my quads are right here. I feel them. I feel them stretching. I feel them moving. It feels amazing. I'm happy, right? If you feel cramping in your foot, then your body's telling you something's wrong. If you're feeling cramping in your hamstrings, something's wrong. If you're feeling pain somewhere, if you feel like you're going to fall over, if you feel knee pain, right? Anything, your body's telling you that something's wrong. And so we just need to know what the signals are that our body's telling us. And then once we know what those signals are, then we can fix it, right? Your body's incredibly intelligent and it's telling you stuff all the time. You just have to listen to figure out how to translate it, right? Listen and learn, right? All right, when you're ready and you feel like you've gotten enough information, bring your hands down first, then drop your front leg and come out of the stretch. And then write down how it feels. Cool. So the next stretch is medial hamstring. So let's try this medial hamstring, laying on our backs. Bring your right leg up and let your knee open up about 45 degrees to the right, and then grab your heel with your right hand. So it's my right leg and my right hand. I'm grabbing my heel, my thumb's pointing down, if that helps. And then kick down for strength to engage that hamstring. Keep kicking down as you pull up into your stretch. And notice what you feel. So I'm stretching my medial hamstring, which is the inner part of my hamstring, kind of like my inner thigh, almost. So it should feel like a hamstring stretch, but you should feel it more on the left side of your hamstring, okay? So if you pay attention, you should be able to feel it more on the inner line of your leg, almost inner thigh, the left side of the back of your leg, if that makes sense. Notice what you feel. Some problems that people would have with this, they feel it cramp up here, a little dull pain in the outside of their hip. You don't want that. Or feeling it on the right side, that would also be wrong. That would be feeling it in the wrong place. So you should feel this on the inner hamstring towards the midline of your body. All right, so make note. Check your self-assessment guide to figure out which numbers, okay? Yeah. And then let's do the other side. Lay on your back. Bring your left leg up and open up to the side. Then take your left arm, thumb down, and grab your heel. Kick down for strength and pull up for your stretch. And you just go back and forth just like this. Down for strength and up for stretch. And then notice what you feel. It should be at the inner part of your hamstring. It's almost like your inner thigh, okay? The inner part of the back of your leg. So if you're thinking about your entire leg here, the entire back of your leg, it should feel more like it's on the right part of that leg, okay? The inner hamstring, the medial hamstring is what we call it. If you feel anything else, just take note. If you don't feel anything at all, that's okay too. Just write it down, okay? So take your self-assessment guide, figure out where you are on that list, and write it down. All right, the next stretch is our groin stretch. This one is like a traditional butterfly stretch that you would do like in gym class, but we do it a little different in resistance stretching. So you'll bring your arms down like this, push out with your arms against your knees. So it's kind of like an outward motion that way. When you do that, you can add resistance by pushing in with your legs. So your legs are going to squeeze in, your arms are going to push you open. If you're having trouble getting into this position at all, like if you don't feel safe, you don't feel frustrated, or you don't feel like it makes sense to you, like you're going to fall over or something, then you're looking at like an 8 or a 9 on this chart, right? What you should feel when you do this stretch is a stretch through your inner thighs, high up, right here, the inner part of your hamstring, or the inner part of your groin, right? Just up here at the top of your legs. So we're gonna go up for strength and down for your stretch. Now, pay attention because we're doing both at the same time. Do you feel your inner thighs on both sides when you get down here to the bottom? Do you feel anything in the outer part of your hips? That would be a no-no. Do you feel it in the outside, like back here in your glutes? Does it feel jammed up? That would also be an issue. It should be a very clear sensation of stretch here in the inner thighs. Do you feel nothing at all? Do you feel pain? Of course, if you feel pain, don't do it, okay? Don't do it. There's a difference between an awesome stretch feeling and a painful feeling. A dull pain is not helpful. A really good stretch will make you feel happy. It'll make you feel good. You'll be like, this feels so great, right? That's what we want. Those are your 0 level stretches. And that's what I've got today. It feels great. Okay, and now our last leg stretch is our lateral hamstring stretch. Now we did the medial hamstring, which was on the inner part here. Lateral hamstrings on the outer part of your hamstring. So it's still the back of your leg, but it's gonna be towards the outside, okay? So we'll do our right leg first. Lay on your back, bring your knee in close to your body. Now, to get this stretch the right way, hold your head with your right hand, hold your leg, your foot on the outside with your left hand, okay? So I'm holding my head with my right hand, I reached over my shin, and I'm grabbing my foot on the outside with my left hand. Now you wanna get some internal rotation, so you're gonna turn your knee in towards your elbow, kick down for strength, and pull up for stretch. Now this one is a little confusing to get into, so I'm gonna walk you through that again, but if you guys are good with it, just go on and get that information, okay? Don't mark this down as a frustrated one if you don't get it right away, because it is tricky. So here's the setup again. Bring your right leg in, hold your head with your right hand, take your left hand over your shin and grab the outside of your foot. Then turn your knee in so that it like touches your elbow, okay? So you're turning internal rotation with your hip. Everything's turning in to the left, okay? Then I'm gonna kick my heel down. When I kick down, I'm kicking to a diagonal, so it's kicking towards the right, all right? And then I'm gonna pull up, and I pull up over my left ear. And then where do you feel it? Should be here on the outside of the hamstring. So more towards it's the back of your leg, but more towards the right, okay? So notice what you feel. If you feel it towards the left, it's wrong. If you feel it pinching in the front here, then it's not good. That's feeling it somewhere else, okay? So pay attention to what you feel. If you feel nothing, take note. If you feel pain, of course, mark that down, but then don't keep doing this stretch, okay? Don't keep doing something. If you still can't understand it after I've instructed you a few times, then it's probably we're looking at like an 8 or a 9, okay? Because when the stretch is good, you'll understand it and your body will be like, oh yeah, I know how to do that, okay? Our bodies are really smart. It's when there are blockages that they get confused, okay? So we're just trying to find those blockages, and confusion is totally a blockage, all right? So now switch your hands so that you're holding your head with your left hand. Bring your left leg up and grab the outside of your foot with your right hand, and then turn your elbow. Oh, you know what? We didn't write it down. So now go to your chart and write down what you felt on your right side, okay? And now let's go to our left leg again. Sorry about that. Grab your head with your left arm, take your right hand over top and grab the outside of your right foot, and then turn your knee in towards your elbow, okay? So I'll walk you through that again. You're holding your head with your left hand. Your left leg comes up. Your right arm, so it's your left leg and your right arm, opposite leg, reaches over your shin to grab the outside of your heel. Now when you do that, you probably open your leg up a little bit, right? So turn it so that your knee cradles in to your elbow. So I'm actually touching my elbow on the inside of my elbow with my knee, okay? Then kick down for strength and pull up for your stretch. And as you pull up, it's diagonal. You're pulling towards the right. And notice what you feel. So down for strength and up for stretch. And what you should feel here is your hamstring. It's the back of your leg, but towards the left side. Okay, so I'm feeling the part of my leg that's closest to the wall here. Notice if you feel anything different or if it doesn't feel happy. What do you got? Down for strength and up for stretch. Make sure you're resisting by kicking your heel down, and then your arm is going to fight and pull up, but you're still resisting. So if I slipped, my heel would kick down, okay? Just pay attention to what you feel there. Down for strength and up for stretch. Nice, 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 nice. And then pay attention to what you felt, internalize it, translate that message. You can use the guide. I felt a little bit actually in my ankle, like right through here, okay, which is kind of a funny thing. I don't know why I'm tense there, but I'm gonna mark that down as a 3 because I did like it, but I felt it somewhere different than I should have, okay? All right, so now tally it up. What do you got? And put it down as today's score. So your bodies change all the time. And what we're looking for is a 0, of course. That would be fantastic, but that's not always the case depending on where you are and who you are and what you're doing in your life and how active you are, right? Because you might be tight from doing workouts. You might be a little imbalanced from doing work that you do throughout your day-to-day life. So what's your score? My right leg score is 14, right? We have here 8 stretches, and the biggest number we can have is a 10. So we're looking at a score of 80 at the worst, right? We're looking at a score of 0 at the best. I'm pretty good. So my score is 14, I'm pretty happy with, right? I would of course love it to be 0, but don't beat yourself up if you're at a 10 or a 20, you're actually doing really well, okay? And then let's look at the other one. So my left leg is actually an 8, so that's pretty awesome. Just had a couple there that were a little troublesome, but it's really insightful to know these things. And then you can take this information and work with it, right? You can send me this assessment if you want, and I'll help you through it. You could do Stretch Sheet 101 if you are finding that you're at the upper limit closer to 80, then you might really need some work just getting really comfortable in your body, and Stretch Sheet 101 would be really helpful for that. Stretch Sheet 201 would be really great if you find that you're kind of in the 40s to 50s level, okay? Or maybe even like 30s, 40s, I think. 30s, 40s would probably be better for Stretch Sheet 201 if you wanted to start there. Now, of course, if you don't want to take either one of those courses, they're actually really affordable, and you get a weekly workout that progresses. So you start at the bottom of the ladder, and we just gradually work our way up the ladder. So that's a really good way to do it if you like a step-by-step program. If you just want to keep doing this video, you can, and see how your body improves. I would do the video like twice a week to 3 times a week, maybe even every day if you feel like really motivated, and keep track of how you're feeling, and then go ahead and do this whole assessment again in about a month's time and see what happened, see how your body's changed. All right, let's move on to our arms though. So the first one we're gonna work on is what I call Pec Major 1. The reason why is because we have 2 groups of pecs. We do the pecs in this direction, but we also do them in this direction. So what you're gonna want for this stretch is a wall or a corner to kind of check out, to use as your place of resistance. So I'm going to use this door frame right here, and I've got my, why don't we start with our right arms? I've got my right arm here. I'm going to put it in an L-shaped angle, and then I'm going to put my arm up against the wall just like this. I'm going to push into it, and when I push into it, I get the resistance in the front of my chest here, right in front of my shoulder, my pec muscles. So right here, that's where these muscles are. Then if I let my arm win, my body will twist towards the door frame so that I'm looking now at my elbow. Then I'm going to keep pushing like that, and I'm going to use my lower body to unravel me, to turn me away from it, and I feel the stretch to the front of my shoulder, okay? If you feel it in the back, you're feeling it somewhere else. If you feel any pain, of course, it's not good. If you don't feel anything at all, think of what these things are. What is your body telling you? What are you going to write down on your assessment sheet? So just do a couple so that you can really feel what's going on. You should feel this nice stretch through the front of your chest. It could go into your bicep too. That would be okay. What do you feel? What do you got? Ah, it's a nice one. I like this stretch. And then let's do the other side too. But before we do, write it down on your sheet. So my right arm assessment, Pec Major 1, that's what we just did. Write down your number. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, so bring your left arm up back to the door frame. And you're gonna resist by pushing your arm into the door, okay? Keep that resistance. Let your arm win to pull you in so that you're looking at your bicep, at your arm right here, and then twist open. Use your lower body to twist you open. Keep resisting. What do you feel there? You should feel here through your chest, right through the front of your shoulders. If you feel anything in the back, if you feel the top of your shoulder, if you feel any pain, pay attention, okay? What do you got? And you just go back and forth. So constantly listening to your body. It's pretty amazing. I mean, can you imagine if you had the ability to talk to your body like this all the time, how much easier life would be, how better your workouts would be, how safe you'd feel. It's much different. It's much different when you start to listen to your body. All right, so what did you notice? What did you notice? Go ahead and write it down on your assessment. So you can look at your guide, say, what did you feel? I actually had a little bit of pain in that one. So I'm gonna say it hurts, dull pain. That was mine for today. All right, and then we're gonna go to our next muscle group, which is called Teres Major. Now I'm gonna switch. This is actually my left arm, but I'm gonna call it the right arm so that you can mirror me, okay? So you can do the same one. So grab the outside of your elbow with your left hand, open up to the right, and then pull across to the left. And what do you feel here? Make sure you're resisting. So you're trying to pull your arms apart the whole time, okay? And as you pull across, you should feel this in the back of your shoulder. It kind of goes like through here in the back of your arm, maybe down into here a little bit, okay? Those are those muscle groups. Now it's a broad group, so if you're a trainer, you're really into anatomy and you're like, Teres Major is very specific. It is kind of specific. There's a lot going on in the shoulders. So we're looking at a general area of feeling the stretch through the back of your shoulder, right through here. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So just pay attention. If you feel it in your chest, then that's feeling it elsewhere, right? If you feel any pain, you want to write that down. If you're just not catching a stretch at all, it's good to know, all right? So listen and translate what your body's telling you. Let's do one more just to get some more information. And you will write that down on your right arm assessment. All right, and then let's do our left arm. So bring your left arm up. It's like that L shape that we were doing on the door before, okay? And then grab the outside of your elbow with your right hand. You're gonna resist like you're trying to pull both arms open and hold that resistance the whole time. Then just start moving. So you open up to the left and then pull across to the right and notice what you feel. So open and close. Now you should feel a stretch through the back of your shoulder here, okay? Kind of through this, right around your shoulder blade, like this front part of your shoulder blade coming around to the side, okay? If you notice anything different, take note, listen to your body. And of course, if anything hurts, mark it down and just stop, okay? You can skip this one. So opening to the left and pulling across to your right. Finding that stretch in the back of your shoulder here on the left side, okay? You'll probably feel something on the right side, but that's just because it's working, all right? So pay most attention to your left side here. And when you've got a good answer, go ahead and write it down, okay? All right, it's time for our trapezius. So we'll do our right arm. Bring your right arm across your body, your elbow completely straight. So you don't want to come across like this, like too close so that you have to bend your elbow. Just straighten it out all the way. Then grab your wrist right here, like where your watch is, with your left hand, okay? You're gonna resist like you're trying to pull both arms across diagonally like this. Then push up for strength and keep resisting right there as you pull down for your stretch. And as you pull down, you're pulling towards your left hip. And when you get to the bottom here, you can bring your head also over to the left and look down. You should feel a neck stretch right through here, maybe through the outside of your shoulder, or your upper back would be okay too, all right? So up for strength and down for stretch. And bring your head to the left to find that stretch. Okay, so you go up for strength, up to the right, and down to the left. Finding the information that you need. Where's the stretch at? Does it feel good? Mine feels awesome. It's a big zero stretch. I love it. Oh, it's such good, this is good stuff, you guys. When it feels awesome, it feels really awesome. And I would love to get your whole body to that place. So take note. If you have the ability for one muscle to feel awesome, then all the rest can as well. Okay, so go ahead and write that down on your right arm assessment for the trapezius muscle. And then we're gonna switch to our left arm. So bring your left arm across your body, your elbow straight, grab your wrist with your right hand right where your watch goes, right here on top, and resist like you're trying to pull both arms diagonally apart. Then kick up for strength and pull down for your stretch. Keep resisting though, so your arms are always trying to pull apart. You're pulling down towards your right hip, and then bring your head over to the right and look down a little to find that stretch. The best. Okay, up for strength. And then pull down for your stretch. And bring your head to the side. Up for strength. Keep resisting as you pull down. You should notice the stretch in the back of your shoulder, maybe the back of your arm, your triceps right here, through your neck here. You might feel that as well. You shouldn't feel it in your chest at all, okay? You shouldn't feel it on the other side of your neck, right? So it should only be here on the right, on the left side. If you feel it on the right side here, then that's a problem. That would be feeling it elsewhere, okay? There shouldn't be any pain. Pretty simple, right? It should be. Not always is it. Not always is it. It's like I forget to talk. It's not always that simple, right? We all have things that work really well for us and other stretches that don't. There will be a million people, maybe not a million, but maybe one day 1 million people will watch this video. There will be hundreds of people who watch this video who have zeros on that stretch. There will be another 100 people who have 10s on that stretch. But then in another stretch, it's completely reversed, okay? No two people are the same. Everybody has different problems. And a lot of times we judge flexibility by what we think we should be able to do, like touching our toes, because that was what they did in gym class and you weren't flexible if you couldn't touch your toes, or if you couldn't sit with your legs cross-legged or something like that. But I'll tell you, it's really interesting that people who cannot touch their toes can sit cross-legged, and people who can touch their toes can't, right? It's a really funny thing that like everybody has their own judge for what flexibility is. Let's move on to the next stretch. This one's called Pec Minor. And what we're gonna do is go into a tabletop position. So bring your hands behind you with your fingers pointing towards your feet. And you're gonna push your hips up into the air. So you just push up like this. This is a stretch for the front of your shoulders. Notice what you feel. And just pay attention. So here's the trick. We're doing 2 arms at once. So let's have a look at our right arm first. You should feel it right in the front of your shoulders. So it should be like right through here. Okay, front of your shoulders. You could feel it through your forearms. You could feel it in your wrist as a stretch, but not as a pain, okay? So notice what you're feeling. If you feel anything in the back, that's not it, okay? That would be feeling it elsewhere, but you wanna feel it through the front of your shoulders. So we're just going from the seated position, pushing up, and you should feel it right in the front of your shoulders. A really good safe stretch would even feel like you can bring your head back. So just go back and forth, pay attention to what you feel. Now look at your left shoulder. How does your left shoulder feel? Do you feel it there? Do you feel anything in the wrong place? Should be right in the front of your shoulder. What do you got? And then write it down. How did your right arm feel? And how did your left arm feel? All right. Okay, we're halfway through our arm stretches. The next one is our Pec Major Stretch, and we're gonna go up to the wall for this one. This is a different pec stretch. Before we were opening this way, now we're gonna open more like this, okay? So bring your hands to the wall in front of you, like you're trying to push something I like to think of it like if I was pushing my car out of the mud, or out of the snow or whatever, like you're trying to push the wall over. So nice, good force. Then from here, try to pull your arms down to the floor, but the wall stops you. So you just resist enough so that you feel the activation, but you're not actually moving your arms, okay? Then bend at your waist and bring your head through and see what you feel. This should be in the front of your shoulders, in the front of your chest, nothing in the back. It's okay to feel this in your calves, so don't worry about that. If you feel it in the back of your legs right here, that's fine. That's part of this line, so it doesn't matter. But we do want to feel it in the front of our shoulders, kind of like in your armpits. And again, we're doing 2 arms at once. So let's take this repetition to listen to your right shoulder. Do you feel it in the front of your right shoulder, or do you feel it somewhere else? And now let's take a second to listen to your left shoulder. Do you feel it in the left, or do you feel something different? All right, you can do as many as you need to do to get that information, okay? And then just write down what you feel. So, it was like, what is that feeling? It was a hair on my shoulder. That doesn't count. That totally doesn't count. So, how was your right arm? And how was your left arm? This is Pec Major 2. All right, and now it's time for our rotator cuff. This one again is 2 arms at once. So bring your hands together, interlock all your fingers, put your thumbs right over the crown of your head. Okay, so I'm about here, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is squeeze my elbows together, but I wanna add resistance. So it's sort of like I'm trying to pop a balloon between my arms. And then you open back up. Now this is a rotator cuff stretch, so you should feel movement in the back of your shoulders, a stretch in the back of your shoulders, like your shoulder blades are opening and closing. You might feel the back of your shoulder right here. You could also feel it all the way back into here. You should not feel anything in the front here, and you shouldn't feel anything here through the side of the body, okay? Now it's important to note too, I'm sitting on my knees because I like to. You don't have to. It's very comfortable for me to sit this way, so I do, but if it's uncomfortable for you, any of these stretches you can do kneeling like this. You could do them standing up. You could do them sitting in a chair, okay? Just do what feels right. Now listen to your right side, and what do you feel there? And now listen to your left side, and what do you feel there? Okay, it's a little bit of a tricky one for me to hear today, so I'm gonna give those a 2 because I feel it working, but I don't feel much stretch today. Interesting, right? Okay, so let's go on to your deltoids. You're gonna bring your right arm against your body. So your upper arm here is like flush against your torso. Your lower arm here is gonna be bent at 90 degrees and your fingers pointing straight ahead. Okay, so you're not turned in or out, you're just straight ahead. Then take your left arm and grab your wrist right where your watch goes and resist like you're trying to pull both arms directly out to the side. Okay, you're gonna push up for strength, hold your resistance there, keep resisting, and push down gently. And when you get to the bottom here, take your left ear and pull it over to your left shoulder. And you should feel a stretch along the right side of your neck and the top of your arm here, like somewhere through here, okay? Then reset your head and start over. Up for strength and down for stretch, bringing your head over to the left. Can you find that stretch in the side of your neck right here? Yeah? If you feel it on the other side, that would be elsewhere, right? If it's on the left side, it should be on the right side of your neck, top of your shoulder, okay? Nothing else, okay? Up for strength and down for stretch. And of course, if anything hurts, you just stop, pay attention to what you feel. Yeah, listen, right? Sometimes it helps for me if I'm like, okay, I feel it here, to just touch it and be like, is that all right? We're looking at deltoids, so we're looking at this like triangle muscle that wraps over the top of your shoulder. And I was feeling something in the front part of my deltoid here, so I just wanted to double check and make sure that that's what it was. So just pay attention. And as we go through the courses, if you do Stretch Chi 101, Stretch Chi 201, you'll learn these muscles pretty easily. So let's write down for our right arm what you felt there. I'm determining what I felt. I wouldn't say it felt awesome to me. I would kind of say it's good, but I feel it everywhere. That's what I'm going to say for that one. So that's a number 4, right? Because it was kind of like, it wasn't really obvious what I felt, okay? Then I'm going to take my left arm, bring it in close to my body. So the upper part of my arm is flush against my torso. The other one, the lower arm, is at a 90-degree angle like this, but my fingers pointing straight forward. Then I'm going to grab the top of my wrist with my right hand, like right over where my watch would go. Resist like you're pulling both arms apart, and then up for strength. Keep resisting here and push down towards your hip. And then when you get to the bottom here, keep resisting and bring your right ear to your right shoulder. And what do you feel there? So up for strength and down for stretch, bringing your head to the right at the end of the stretch. That one I did kind of in the middle because I kind of like how it feels. You just go up and down, see what you can find. And you should feel this in the top of your neck here, going down into the outer part of your shoulder, right the top of your shoulder here on the outside, okay? That's your deltoid muscle. So down for your stretch, bringing your head to the right, and you just go up and down just like this. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Good notes, right? Just take good notes. If you're not sure, you're not sure, right? I actually, with this one too, I feel it here, which is really not where I want to feel it more on the outer part of my neck, so that's interesting. And I also feel something happening in the back of my shoulder. So it's a really good assessment. It's good to listen every once in a while. So I'm going to say, again, this is a 4. It's good. It feels nice, but I kind of feel it everywhere, okay? So now our last stretch is for our lats. These are the muscles that are from like your armpit down to your waist. We're looking at, it's a big muscle group of your torso. We count it as an arm muscle because it does connect into your shoulder. So you're gonna take your right arm and bring your elbow up into the air and let your hand fall down towards your spine, okay? It doesn't have to touch your spine, just let it fall where it wants to. Then grab your elbow with your other hand, and you're gonna resist like you're trying to pull your arms apart like this, okay? So my right arm is up in the air, my left arm is grabbing my elbow on the outside. I'm resisting like I'm trying to pull apart, and then I'm gonna pull down towards my left knee. I'm still resisting, so my right arm is trying to keep me up, and my left arm is pulling me down. And so you go up for strength, and then down for stretch. And you should feel this from your armpit down, okay? So up for strength and down for stretch. And what do you feel? I'm gonna give this one a big 0. This is the greatest stretch ever. And you know, it's funny, I was really, when I was building this program, I was like, do I wanna make the best stretches a 10 or do I wanna make them a 0? And I decided on 0, and you know why? Because when it's 0, it means there's nothing blocking it, right? When it's a 10, it means you have a lot of things blocking it, okay? So there's no blockages here. So I'm gonna say that's a 0, no blocks. It's a great thing, it's wonderful. So again, you should feel this here and down, nothing on the top of your shoulder, nothing in your mid-back, no pain, no dull pain, no uncomfortable feelings, just a beautiful, lovely stretch. Pay attention to what you feel, and then write it down here on your right arm assessment. And then let's take our left arm up so that your left elbow is pointing up to the ceiling. Grab your elbow with your right hand, resist like you're pulling both arms apart, and then you're gonna pull this time to the right knee. And so as I'm pulling down, I wanna listen to my body, see what I feel, and it should be a nice stretch. through the outer part of your torso on the left, okay? So up for strength and down for your stretch. Just up and down, relatively easy, right? Not a lot of resistance. Again, you can sit in a chair if this feels better, okay? Find the way to sit that feels the best to you. And I'm just going up and down. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Again, I can't say it enough. It should be along the outside of your left torso. Nothing in the top of your shoulder, nothing in your mid-back, no pain. But there should be a definite feeling of stretch from here down, okay? It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be something. So pay attention too, like if you feel nothing, that also is a level 2, right? And put that down as a 2. All right, so we finished our right arm and left arms. So now it's time to add them up. So let's see. I've got a 9 on my right. My left was kind of an issue. 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 20. Wow, my left arm is a 24. That one, whew, something to work through there, right? Now, sometimes we don't even notice what's going on in our bodies until we actually sit down and listen to it, okay? So I knew that I was having some issues because I've been playing a lot of music and my body is like, come on, you know? It gets a little out of whack when I play because I play piano and I also play tin whistle in an Irish music setting. So I'm also like this a lot, which is a lot of like pulling in when I'm really getting tight, you know, when I'm practicing a lot, I get a little tighter than I would like to be. So I knew there were issues here, but I didn't know exactly where they were. And now I do. And now I know what I can fix. Now, if you find that you're not scoring zeros, right? You're not finding zeros a lot, then you would really benefit from my online courses. Stretch Chi 101 starts you from the foundation. It helps you to learn how to listen to your body when you're moving, how to know to feel safe, how to know what distances to move, what range of motion, what level of resistance to use, all of that kind of stuff. And through Stretch Chi 101, you learn each one of these stretches, resistance stretches, each week. Actually in easier versions than today. You learn like the easiest versions. I've had people in my Stretch Chi 101 course who cannot walk without assistance, who really enjoy the course and can do all the stretches. So if you're like, I can't do any of it, then don't worry, it's a good place to start. So if you're finding that your levels on these sheets are pretty high, like if you're closer to 80 than you are to 0, then you need to think about Stretch Chi 101. If you're somewhere in the middle, and you feel comfortable doing these stretches, but you just notice that you have some barriers, then you may actually feel really good starting with Stretch Chi 201, okay? Now, I feel like everyone should start at Stretch Chi 101, but for some people, it moves a little bit too slow for them. So feel free to start at Stretch Chi 201, okay? You'll learn the stretches as you go. If you're a little frustrated, you can always go back to Stretch Chi 101 because it's included in the bronze level membership. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, reach out. Go ahead and put your scores up in the discussions. Come back and try this again in a month. I'll be thrilled to find out how you change, what kind of effects you have, how you feel different, how many of you are starting to reach your goals. I would love to hear about that in the discussions. All right, my friends, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.